Blasi?
Yeah, I thought it was obviously Saturday was a good night for us and special teams game, and thought we played our game for most of the weekend. Friday fell a little short in overtime, but happy with our progress that we're making on the ice.
You get done with Friday's game, and are you thinking, man, what do we have to do? I mean, it seems like overtime has been so cruel to your team this year so far.
I didn't feel like we did a good enough job Friday of making plays, and we were a little bit loose in our decision making with the puck. So I didn't feel like we really, what I think, we let them off the hook on Friday in the second period. Played a decent game in the third period on Friday, got back. And then it went into overtime, and they made us pay for our loose decision making with the puck. Saturday night, I felt like we thought as a staff that it was going to be a special teams game. So we really were focused on making sure that we didn't take any unnecessary penalties, even though we did. But they did as well, and our power play really did a pretty good job. So you never know in a game how it's going to shake out, and that's why we keep trying to instill in our guys that every play matters, everyone matters, every little decision matters, every little play matters, face-offs matter, stick positioning matters, body positioning matters, your decision making with and without the puck matters, because all those plays at the end of the night usually add up to either a win or a loss.
Just, watching those final seconds tick off on Saturday, you kind of knew going into this season, it would still be a fight every night to put some wins on the board, but just how much of a lift is it going into a locker room after a game like that? And, does it make the ride home a little bit better?
Well, certainly a 10-hour bus ride home was a lot better, but you want to make sure that you're making progress and that we're actually seeing something for all of our hard work. I don't think I've left the rink after practice or a game saying that our team doesn't work hard. We have a lot of tough lessons to learn, and so we talk about that a lot. We practice those situations. At some point, as an individual, as a human being, you want to see something start to happen. So yeah, walking into the locker room after a win because we talked about some things on Saturday and we actually did them is important, because that's part of the process and that's part of the learning process that we're going through. And once that starts to happen, hopefully our guys don't think about it anymore. We just do it.
Now to keep the momentum going, all you have to do is shut down Livingstone and Furry and some of those guys. Just, the Mavericks are obviously
Fun.
An elite level team. What do you think this weekend?
Well, it's another opportunity for our team to see where we're at and where we need to go. And I think we're up for the challenge. We've played already 4 games against top 10 opponents in Penn State and St. Cloud, and Mankato is no different. So we have to play our game, and we got to make sure that we're paying attention to detail and our habits are good. And we know they're going to come in waves, and that's part of the process. That's part of us learning how to play with those teams. So we'll be up for the challenge, just like we were with those other teams, and we'll see what happens.
St. Thomas is kind of a tight knit campus community. How much of a lift or kind of a buzz is there about football right now? I mean, it's got to be a kind of a fun time to be on campus with what they're doing.
Yeah, for us, we're a little bit removed because we're off campus practicing, but in a way last weekend. But follow it on Twitter, and certainly Coach Caruso's got the boys playing really well, and they believe in what they're doing, and they're in first place. So it's a fun time, and I think all of us are really excited about that.
Ryan Steve is up.
Ryan, did you have any questions?
Yeah, Rico, you guys are having a really balanced scoring sheet, especially over the weekend. Mac Byers had a good Saturday. Is the communication, you think, getting better from the start of the year, where the guys are gelling, you think, on the ice at this point?
I think so. I think we've kept the lines together now for a few weeks, so guys are starting to feel good about where each other are going to be and feeding off each other. A lot of it just has to do with bearing down and shooting the puck and, getting to those nasty areas. We know 90% of the goals in college hockey or even in pro hockey are scored in front of the net. So you got to get there and you got to pay a price. And I think our guys are starting to understand that.
Anything further, Ryan?
Ethan Roberts dressed over the weekend. Do you think he might see some action anytime soon, or is that kind of still a day-to-day, week-by-week kind of a thing?
Well, again, last week was tough. He just got back from his injury, so we wanted to make sure that we're progressing him the right way. So we'll see how this week goes in practice.
Looks like you're giving up fewer shots this year. I know the one Penn State game in particular, that's got to be an important part of that measuring stick, the progress you're making.
Yeah, well, I think shots are important. I think, when we, as a staff, when we do scoring chances and the type of scoring chance that we're giving up is a lot less grade A chances, A, B, C chances that we talk about. And so when you're giving up less A chances and you're, maybe the shots are from the outside, your goaltender should make those saves at this level. So the quality of chances is really important for us as a staff. That's how we measure, how well we played for the night and where we need to go. And I think it's getting better. We're definitely not giving up those, what it might have been 20 to 25. Now we're down to about 12 to 13, which is an important stat.
Rico, there was a pretty big destination game last weekend in Las Vegas, and you've coached in Soldier Field, and coached outdoors, and in Mankato, you've coached at South St. Paul. What are those games like for a coach? You try to get your players to kind of ignore the atmosphere and just focus on the game, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do. I mean, you have to embrace the opportunity and the challenge, and I think after playing a couple of those. We kind of I switched my tune on it and just had the guys really embrace it and enjoy it. And then once that enjoyment's there and everybody's involved, and the importance of it too, I think guys play a little freer and they when they're in the moment, I think it's better as opposed to putting a lot of pressure on them and trying to ignore it. It doesn't work. It is what it is. I mean, how do you go to Vegas and not feel good about being in Vegas, right? Or Soldier Field or whatever. So I think sometimes we as coaches try to, deflect a lot and instead of just taking it on and playing it for what it is, and look like an exciting game for sure. And a lot of green lights in the stands. I saw that. So good for Arizona State for what they did, and I'm sure North Dakota will bounce back. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.